Alright, hello everyone. Sorry for the delay. I was still getting stuff set up. I only got home 20-ish minutes ago. Fortunately, I'm off work tomorrow, so I am now officially done with TFL strikes. Whew. I know that I still have...
You have VPL to look forward to.
Yeah, there you go. We are reaching the very end. I've got JJ here with me. He's going to be one of our special guests. You guys can already hear him. So we are going to start reviewing some of the finals games right now. I am aware that I haven't published last week's stream onto YouTube yet. I will do that at some point tomorrow, now that I have a day off. But for now, let's watch some premium games. So yeah, the first up between WCCL and Purgatory Knights. Congrats to both teams on making the finals, by the way. We are first going to watch Gashadokuro of PGK versus XPNX of WCC Light. So give me a moment while I set this up and make sure it looks all okay. Oh, hello. Which one is it? That one? Yes, okay. And it doesn't look that bad. I just need to do a little bit of resizing just so that everyone can see the cards on the table. And yeah, I'm sure you guys all know JJ, if you haven't already. He was one of the captains of this season of The Neighbours. One of my good friends. He's been in the community for ages. Welcome, welcome.
How y'all doing? Welcome to the finals of the VPL. It's an honor to be here. Of course, it's always been nice to be assisting Ben whenever he's doing community-focused events, when he's also done IRL events as well. Be sure to support him whenever you go in UK area. If you're ever in Dark Sphere and you ever want to play some games against him, whenever he's doing Vanguard events again, you can meet up a whole lot of the local gang of very prominent and very strong competitors, and most of them end up going to Worlds. I think per capita next to them, next to WCC, I think most of the UK players tend to have most of the tops there, if not, despite some of the French strong players there too.
I think there's quite a few, at least relative to the London area, just go from this year alone. We had Daniel, Dom, Nick, Hal, Mohammed, Kalen, which is 6 already. There's two or three more that I'm just slipping my mind.
And that's just Vanguard alone. There's also Shadowverse as well, and then you have EJ as well. It's just insane, just an insane amount of very talented and very brilliant players. And now we're going to be watching some brilliant and talented players square off in Premium. Premium is one of my favorite formats. It's one of the ones I enjoy making a whole lot of discussions talking about it, and I know Ben has always been a pretty big fan of it as well, I guess, too, Ben, or no?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's... My favorite thing about Premium is, people like Ned, who, come up with these crazy deck ideas, and, they just try stuff that no one ever tries before. As I said before, the only thing I don't like about Premium is that a lot of it's, a huge knowledge check. You have to know, this deck does this, that deck has this, here's what I do here, and it's... One of my favorite things about Vanguard is how dynamic the game is. For example, here, right, you see that XPNX is playing Night Rose, and he rides Bell. Sleeve Tugging Bell is a card that we don't see in every single Night Rose deck. I think likely what's happened here is that Gashadokuro on the left playing Narukami, we've seen them play Vanquisher 3 or 4 times this season in Premium. So I think this is a really smart tech choice, knowing, okay, my stuff's gonna get bound, so I'm gonna put in the Sleeve Tugging Bell to counter Narukami.
Of course, and it's one of the things that a lot of, not only just against Narukami, I think some forms of Link Joker has some binding stuff in their G-Zone as well. It's just sort of just respecting some of those matchups, and it's one of the things you need to keep in consideration of also playing Premium is putting in some silver bullets just in case of those dire situations come up. And it's also something to note that Sleeve Tugging Bell is a 7k unit, so you can safely swing under just in case
7, sorry.
There's any CB shenanigans that might end up being happening on a grade 2 turn.
Yeah, he hits the crit though, so he won't be CB denying Gashadokuro here. Not that Narukami is a deck that really needs CB denying to begin with, but another cool thing about Sleeve Tugging Bell while we're on this topic, I don't know if it's been spread through the community yet, but the weekend previous at BSF Manchester, one of the previous Premium World Champ, Cormac Doyle, he was playing Night Rose in standard in the team event, and he was playing what's being referred to now as Tank Night Rose. So he was playing multiple sleeve tugging bells, heavy on the hostage package, the set order that lets you move a unit to guard. That way, when they get bound from the hostage order, you can use sleeve tugging bell to reset them, which I think was really interesting. Obviously, I don't think we're going to see that here, because the hostage package is probably not as good in Premium, but it's another interaction, and it's cool things like that I really like about Premium.
Love that too as well. Sadly enough, you're correct. It doesn't really utilize any of those at the moment, since it requires you to play like 2 to 3 extra, I wouldn't want to call them bricks, but like side grades to cards that you really want to be running, like Ghost Ship or Colombard, and you don't really want to be replacing those out of your deck at any point, right?
Yeah, and speaking of silver bullets like Ghost Ship and Colombard, we just saw XPNX drive check his G Grenache, the countercharge 2, which is a very key card for Night Rose, so having that in hand means that he gets to mill something else with the Obadiah Stride, which is also incredible. But meanwhile, we see here Gashadokuro has the Rise of the Vanquisher, does the History Stride. We also noticed previously that Gashadokuro rode, Zuitan, and not Spark Raised Dragon. So I think this, based on the fact, he might not be running Spark Raised. I mean, he probably is, because the Eradicator package is very strong, but this might just be pure straight Vanquisher rather than some Vanquisher Eradicator hybrid.
Sure.
It can be pretty decent, since a lot of your G-Guards force your opponents to retire and bind, and the GP2 skill of Vanquisher does give you the extra little bit of 4k bonus, allowing you to 3k bonus, allowing you to guard a little bit more efficiently, and you do have access to a lot of the Eradicator, good stuff in there still. So it's not really a bad option in my opinion.
Yeah. And then also, once again, we see that XPNX has rode his P-Chan, which I don't know if it's a 1-of or a 2-of. In most lists, I think, are on a 1-of. But again, in this matchup, it's not that bad, because Narukami decks usually aren't going to play Honolese. So the value of P-Chan does kind of drop here. But again, it's one of those ones where it would have been nice to see the Colombard ride into Ghost Ship, or the Greed Shade ride to set up for next turn, something along those lines.
I think he might have been trying to respect the History Stride turn, since he is going second and staring down a barrel of 5 to 6 attacks here, plus his drop zone being 8 is maybe something he's not willing to commit to at this moment.
Yeah, that's totally valid as well. Gashadokuro here with 2 restanders. You've got the Esperidia and the Cho'o. So yeah, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attacks on the History Stride, which is not awful. If XPNX has a heal guard, it could be good, but he could also just go up to 4 damage on the first stride.
So here's a question I'm going to ask you here. Yep. How do you feel about History Strikes currently in Premium? Because you've done a couple commentary for some of the events and stuff, but you've not been that actively playing much of it. But now that you're back into the scene in the community again with it, how do you feel about it so far since History Collection?
Honestly, this might be a surprise. Overall, kinda negative. I think decks that really, really use them are the ones that just didn't need them. For example, Eradicators, Victor, and then the decks that do really need them, like Night Rose. If in Night Rose you're History Striding, it means that you're not striding Obadiah, and as we all know, Obadiah is a broken card.
Yes.
And it's that sort of decision you have to make of I can generate 2 protect markers, which is really good against DP, or I can actually set up winning the game. I think that's an interesting decision that players have to make, but I feel the fact that we have History Strides restricted with Crest Makers kind of proves the point that I'm trying to make, really.
23 to Vanguard.
Okay. I get you.
Mighty Bolt.
So I find it interesting here that he...
19.
I don't know if XP should have used it. If you had the heal guard in here, as you mentioned before, you had an awesome read on. I probably think he should have heal guarded first before everything, or no? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, because he did burn. I think that's the quick shield, not the guardian ticket.
Correct.
Jesse.
Like
24.
It would have saved him the quick shield, which I guess he could have then used as a discard for like, I don't know, a greed shade later down the line or something. Yeah.
Right, Skull Dragon.
So I guess the only downside is that if you use the heal guardian straight away, you're quote unquote losing out on like 5 to 10k shield, which could have been good for like one of the bigger swings. So I guess that was the decision he made there. We see the Skull Dragon rise, so not Beatrice or Night Rose.
I think that's fine because he can like get them all out now, right?
Yeah, I think it's actually in this matchup it's probably good because it means that now that Skull Dragon's basically safe until he wants to like ride over it and then Soul Blast it out and then reanimate it again. Because as you said, Narukami has so much access to getting rid of Drop Zone. So yeah, having that Skull Dragon be safe is pretty good.
And right now he doesn't have any access to getting rid of the rear guards for sure now though, because Angel Ladders are activated, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, XP and X I think has very much teched for the assumed matchup. You know, the only things he's got in the drop so far is the Jesse, which can come out at any point. And yeah, the dangerous part here is planning like, okay, if I'm going to drop these things, I can only call 2 out from the Obadiah, and then like a bunch of stuff is going to go in as well, plus the Grenache we know he drive checked. It's like, how safe are these cards that you're milling right now?
It depends on whether or not Gusha feels that it's important to go into a Stunverse-like effect next turn.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening right now because he'd be losing too much resources. I feel like him going to an Exterminate turn is still just going to be something he'll probably do most likely. So I feel like the drop zone might be safe for him to dump a decent amount of cards in.
Skull Dragon, Beatrice, Night Rose,
Bone and Npix. Okay, so Ladder and Npix is going to make his life very easy. One thing to note though with the Stunverse though is that now that with full Bronto's restricted in Premium, so if you're on Vanquisher, Stunverse basically doesn't do anything.
3, 2, 1.
So so you realistically want to be rewriting like Sweep Command or even like Descendant for Stunverse to be really threatening. So yeah, the number of strides I think that Gashadokura has access going into the next turn, especially under Ladder, is going to be quite low. But one stride that he does have, which can threaten XP and X's drop zone, is going to be the Vanquisher strides themselves, Voltage and not Sparking, V-Buster.
Of course, since those on hit can still target the drop zone a little bit if need be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get you. Alright, we got ourselves a couple units out here. Beatrice can use her skill to Soul Blast down to call a card. Looks like it's going to be deciding on Npix here. Because he can only call 2 since there's only 1 card face up in his G-Zone.
Yeah, so we score the Skull Dragon and the Beatrice. He's not going to commit the Grenache or the Jesse.
Okay. Because he could have retired a Beatrice here to protect her if need be, but...
Well, I mean, the Beatrice will still be protected because the Skull Dragon will kill itself.
Soul Blaster to Beatrice.
That's fair.
So yeah, at the end of turn, the board is just going to be Beatrice Npix, which is fully protected.
Okay. Alright, looks like it's going to be going in here for 27. His opponent on a full stack of almost like 10 cards in his hand right now, so he has the world of options, a couple of PGs as well that we saw him drive check.
I'm always of the opinion that guard the first Obadiah because they've milled 5 cards, but they haven't fully like compressed and stacked the way like Granblue usually does. So the chance of getting like double crit death on the first Obadiah is it's never 0, but it's usually quite low.
Well, as you mentioned it, there is like 1 crit we saw in damage and 1 crit we saw in drop. So, you know, the chances are there. Looks like we're seeing one of them right now in the drive check. The critical trigger. Let's see if he commits it to the Skull Dragon. I think Skull Dragon, I think it's like 4 or 5 cards in drop zone. So Skull Dragon has plus 10. It's 22 by itself, so it's 32 on attack.
See, it was only 1 crit. It was totally safe. I mean, Gashadokuro did play it safe and PG that, so he did, avoid 2 damage. The only concern now is that, is he going to be able to guard this Skull Dragon?
Skull Dragon 37.
Let's see. Didn't figure out. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't guarded this? Sorry.
Yeah, so that's 17 because of OB.
Yep. And I think he put the power on the Skull Dragon as well instead of the Beatrice.
Sure.
Okay, so that's going to be 37. Alright.
2 damage.
We'll take that one.
Sure.
And he ends up taking the 2 anyway, so yeah, it kind of worked out the same in the end, I guess.
Pass.
So 4 damage.
And,
Are we going to see a rewrite?
Activated, and how many cards are on the drop zone currently?
I think there's like 6 cards.
6.
Yeah. I guess that's also quite why I like the line from XPNX about not making out the Jessie, because if you made the Jessie, both Skull Dragon and Jessie would have retired themselves, which would have left his open front row for the Exterminate. So here, the Exterminate's only getting 1 draw and 1 plus 10.
Oh, that's fantastic play indeed. Because like most people tend to put Beatrices in a back row, and so it'll just like leaves the front row like just by itself.
1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
Since Beatrice is such a good extending combo piece, a lot of people are very scared to leave them, be bound or removed or bounced by some effect.
Yeah, and I think the fact that like even though he was low on Counterblast, there was a world where XPNX could have gone for like Jessie, Nightstorm, blah blah blah, like big 6-7 attacks, and he instead chose not to do that. And, just like play it safe, play it slow, and it's kind of, I think it's paid off.
Yeah, it definitely has. Like, he doesn't want to commit too much extra cards from his hand he's possibly going to need to use the guard with anyway. So I really, really like this play. So now it calls into question if you really needed to use the Angel Ladder this turn then. Probably going to save it for a follow-up turn possibly too as well. If he wasn't too scared of losing some cards on draw.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so Gashadokuro here plays multiple Zoruses.
We'll go.
Oh, anticipating the Grand Blue matchup. Ooh, metagaming on metagaming. Okay,
yeah.
I see it.
I actually quite like this because, yeah, so for those of you who aren't updated with Errata, Zorus's on hit is retire 1, bind 2, and that works even if you don't hit, and that works even if you don't history stride. So right now, the Vanguard is end of battle, retire 1, bind 2, and obviously nothing can be retired because of the ladder and the end picks, but he can still bind 2, which is quite relevant here.
It definitely is. So right now, XP is currently in a conundrum. So this is what I was talking about the Angel Ladder earlier, because it does look like it's something that he might have needed to consider to turn off now, because he's in a pickle, because he just might still end up losing some parts of his drop zone anyway.
Yep. So yeah, we guard with the Grenache, that's dangerous.
So that's the first thing to go. I definitely target that one. I probably target that and Jessie, to be honest.
Yep. No, I'd probably Grenache and Skull Dragon, I think.
12 at Beatrice.
Because the other Skull Dragon's currently stuck on the Vanguard circle.
Oh, that's fair. Oh, you could also like super deny him by like eating Night Rose too, so he sees off bad bounty.
Ooh,
but he would have like bad bounty into Skull Dragon too. But I just like, oh, he has 2 Vanguard swings, I'll just like double PG, I guess.
Yeah, I mean he has burned 1 PG though, so it's not like you have infinite PGs. And actually, he's used 1 PG and a second PG's in the damage. So actually, like two fat Vanguard swings could get there.
Oh, maybe you're right. See if he maybe drives into like a Elementaria or something.
Yep.
First check heal. I do heal.
Ooh, heal is nice.
Heal this one.
So that gives him more G-Guard options here for later on.
Second Nerman, third critical. We'll give critical to Vanguard and power to Esper.
That evens out the damage, even pulling him ahead a little bit, and Esper getting extra power. Oh,
that's the.
No.
I think that's D Water Spout Gin. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yep. I love the fact that a lot of premium decks are starting to have an addition of DPGs, since a lot of them can use their effects when you have the more cards in your hand, and as long as you put them there, no matter where they're put from, and I'm a biggest fan of it.
Yeah, I mean the big thing is obviously that G Water Spout Gin, which countercharges, needs to be placed from hand, whereas D Water Spout Gin, you can call out with your various G guards that call from drop zone to guard circle. And then it's got the name for the G one to still countercharge, which is, yeah, really cool. So we see there the bound was... So V Knight Rose, and I don't know what the other underneath that card is.
It was Bell.
Oh, right.
That was a very heads-up play from him.
Yeah, so he's like anticipating the reset, so he's just denying that. But what if XPNX has a second Bell?
If he does, more power to him. Like, that you can't deny it, you know?
Then that would be crazy.
Yeah.
And we'll pass it.
See, no counter charge since he has no second copy. Yeah, so this is a very tough spot here for XP. Let's see how he pulls out on this one. What angles could he possibly have here? Bounty gives him the rewrite if he needs it. He can't.
But the rewrite into what? Rewrite into Beatrice?
It seems that's what he probably wants to go for. No, the Beatrice he called off of Obi last turn. Does he have a second one in drop?
I mean, he'd have to call over it. I mean, the Jesse's still in drop, so he can't just sack the Beatrice.
That's true, he can retire. And the Beatrice does give him some form of multi-attacks if he does have some ghosties in drop. So it's not completely like out of probability for him, but it look very broke boy moments, you know?
Yeah, he's definitely like having to cobble together a turn.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's one thing that Grand Blue is good at, it's cobbling together turns out of nothing and winning.
That's fair.
Like here, so he calls out the Night Storm with the Columbard. He could just sack the Night Storm and the Jessie, and the Beatrice to make Jessie. And then when he rerides the Beatrice from Bad Bounty, he can then Soul Blast the Skull Dragon that was in his Vanguard circle and then call it back out again. There's lines.
Definitely the case. I wonder if not just getting V Knight Rose here is just still more optimal if he has that second copy in deck.
Maybe. But the big thing to play around here, though, is obviously Narukami's arguably best card, Impede Dragon.
Yeah, retire Binding, and Binding is very tough to deal with. Well, he does happen to have a pretty bigger board than XP right now, so retire Binding is the only thing that he really get rid of at the moment.
Yeah. But that's the risk with, that's why the Jessie line is such a good play, because then, even if he makes a Grenache, if he sacks 2 for Jessie, he's only going to have 3 units on the 3 rear guards on the board. So even if Gashadokuro intercepts and then impedes, it's only going to be a bind, not the bind and retire.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
Oh, that said, we did miss one thing, which is that XPNX does have 4 or more bind. Which means, what's his name? Bulwark is live.
Oh, so now he needs to pay attention of his attack patterns too as well.
Exactly.
Because he can end up getting a couple of his rear guards being retired too.
Well, Night Storm is safe, because Night Storm is end of battle. So it would be the quote-unquote same timing. But it's more for the case of after he bad bounties, anything after that becomes a little bit more dangerous. So yeah, he's actually just going to call the Night Storm over the Beatrice. Doesn't even want to commit to the Ghosty line.
I feel like one of the biggest saving graces for him right now is that he's on an 11k Vanguard, so his Night Storm actually touches him.
Oh yeah. Without the booster, it's still good numbers. That is very relevant.
Man, I never see in our Lord and Savior 2025 that we're back on 11k units doing big things, but we're here, and I appreciate it. So he's contemplating, right? Because I think he had a Honolulu, and I'm not sure if he still has it anymore. I know there's one in drop. He filtered one. Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, crit, okay.
It does increase the chance of impede now, though, for hitting for both.
Yes. So he's going to chomp with intercept. The crit goes in. So now impede gets turned off again. Or impede gets weakened again.
27, 37.
37.
Yeah, it very much feels like XPNX is just on the back foot here.
1 soul.
We've got quite a few crits out.
So if he played it in such a way to keep the Beatrice, the Bell and Soul, since that's like the safest location it could have been,
yeah,
he'd had full access to it right now, full access to his deck too. But it's something you practice with. Like during VPL events, and also while you're in finals, you tend to get like a lot of nerves because you're playing against best players from all around the world. You sometimes think about plays like 14 hours, like 14 turns in advance, and then you forget about a play that you need to make in the present. It tends to happen sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
For counteracts.
Okay, so we're going to go with... I keep forgetting this card's name, but it's the new G-Guard.
Vanguard,
Your opponent chooses whether they want to
and
kill their
binds
front
them.
row,
If they do
and then
not
this
bind
gains
two
10k
cards,
for everyone that doesn't get killed.
Go into battle, it's get plus 10. If they do not bind any cards,
I would eat Columbard here.
so you combine 1 for
Yeah, it's already attacked. It
35
doesn't
shield,
do
or
anything.
2 for it to be 30, or 0 for 35 if you bind 0, 25 if you bind 1, or 15 if you bind 0.
So yeah, if he eats the Columbard, it's a 25k shield, which was someone
I
36.
won't buy. Or
So
I think
So
him
it's,
eating Columbard here is fine. Because then it puts him on 37 to
46. What's your
37.
number again?
It'd be 46 to 37. So if this passes, it makes them commit a 5k shield extra.
this is 37.
Or 10k shield extra at least.
37.
Oh, this is a 1 to pass too. But
Yeah, so this is currently just one to pass without sacking anything, which I think is a reasonable gamble to take. So yeah, and that then forces Gashadokura, as we see there, to commit an extra 15k shield.
61, I believe. Which
True.
would be 3.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, 3 last.
37. 46.
that's 2 to pass, huh?
161.
61 to 37
37.
is...
Oh, 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
3
yeah.
yes. 3 checks first.
Ooh! Ooh!
One thing to know, 3 to pass means 3 to pass, because in VPL, we do not have over trigger in premium.
Correct. And I think because of that, you just play it safe.
Second check.
Oh, rewarded.
Check.
Ooh!
Nice.
That's suddenly a scary Nightstorm.
One thing to note, if you actually did eat the Columbard, because it would pass and not be 1 to pass, it would have been 2 to pass
Right,
instead of 3 to
yeah.
pass.
In which case, the choice of going auto van actually goes a lot higher. Ooh, XP next, they're
Yeah.
discarding the protect marker for bad bounty. That's... No, he keeps that in the end, yeah. Oh, no, he remakes it when he rides Beatrice.
Skills.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna Soul Blast the Skull Dragon.
And can you remind me what Beatrice does aside from her, like...
On play so last, do this. All my ghosties have plus 5k power, plus 5k shield.
And Intercept.
And then when my rear guard is retired by a card ability during my turn as CB1, I can call a ghosty.
Okay.
Ghosty of a lower grade.
Of exactly 1 grade lower. But I think he discarded the Tommy, so it's... Yeah, he's got the target.
And he also has a crit in there too. The crits
Yep.
are ghosties too, yeah?
They
Yeah,
are.
so that-
The Stride Crit, yes.
So the poke for 9k if need be. Oh, okay. That's
Yes, because it doesn't need to be a ghosty that gets retired. It just needs to be a ghosty that comes out. So even though Jesse would countercharge, he instead kind of... I think he values the draw from the ghost ship, which I respect. And the ghost ship is also 5k
On my
bigger.
24.
This does turn on Impics again. Oh,
Sure.
oh boy.
Impede.
There's the Impede. Yeah, this is now a tough
So
choice.
I'm gonna bind 1, right?
Yeah, he needs to retire first and then bind.
I think it has to be the Npix. No, he doesn't have to bind, he just
It's not the
retires.
only target.
No, he binds,
No,
not
I
retires.
can. I can't buy on picks.
You can.
Is that how it works?
Can be chosen by the opponent's card effects.
Well, no, because he has... Isn't Npix only when you have 2 or less rears?
Oh, I'll take a look here.
It has to be this one.
Survey says...
Sure.
The draw is still mandatory though.
If you have 3 or less rear guards, never mind.
Oh. Oh, that's pretty good.
Your
Wait.
Vanguard, the Vanquisher, also gets power because something was retired.
It was
Yeah,
not retired.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, why did he draw, though?
Wait, it was Impede's raid. Entire battle.
It's retired bind.
Ghost ship shouldn't have drawn a card, right?
So yeah.
It's end of battle. It's sort of like
For
Malam,
some
I
reason I
think.
was still thinking like in terms of counter.
Right, it's not a cost. Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Ghost ship is a cost for some weird
Okay.
reason.
Yeah.
Cards in hand is
And I think he still gets the 3k because the first part is retire bind. The second one is just bind.
I think you're right. Yeah, because all the G stuff does interact correctly. That is the one awkward thing about G Vanquisher with the new G Guard. The new G Guard binds directly from RC. It doesn't put to drop and then bind.
Has to be a grade lower, no?
Yeah.
Does it?
Because a lot of the newer Vanquisher support doesn't really care about the retire mechanic anymore.
Exactly.
They care more about the binding mechanic now. So that's
whereas the
one of
G
reasons
Vanquisher
why.
specifically says put into drop.
Don't normally have to do this.
And yeah, I think that's why I think the Ghost Ship was a.
Point.
I mean, it worked out to be correct because if he had called out the what's his name, if it had been the Jesse, then he wouldn't be able to Beatrice down.
Yeah, correct.
This is 26, 36.
So now he can save the. Now he can Nightstorm out the Jesse and then Jesse down into a grade 1.
Currently,
And his Vanquisher is currently a 14k base, so
Jesse still makes magic numbers, but Tommy doesn't.
exactly. So it's gonna be 215s, and he's good. 49, 50.
It's 20k shield he needs here because Nightstorm has 2 triggers on it, so it's a 31 into a 14.
Yeah. There is a second Beatrice in drop, so he can do some more shenanigans, I think.
Yep. Doesn't have that much counterblast though. He's only got 1 open. So if he, which he then needs to pay for Nightstorm.
Yeah, so he'll bind his heal here.
Yep.
Plus 20 shield because you have 3, and then I can counterblast 1. Give 5 because you have 5 in binds.
Oh, this is so
16
good
now?
right now.
I'm at base
19.
14.
19.
Yep.
19 plus 30 shield. Yep.
19 is also huge because without a trigger, it also means that you now match the Jesse, so the Jesse becomes a 5k shield.
And he already did the counter charging skill already.
I don't think so, because the Jesse hasn't come out yet, because he called out the Ghost Ship instead of the Jesse earlier. So I think the Jesse is still valid. The only downside is that, again, it just... The number is just not threatening. There's actually an argument, I think, to just Jesse at rear, even. Just Jesse into the Esperidia to make your next turn a bit more survivable.
Yeah, because his hand is... Like with all the crit triggers, it's not really shaping out to be the best at the moment. Swinging, yeah. If you get I think I would swing into Esper here.
Yeah, because you're fishing for triggers onto the Jesse anyway. And this is already 1 to pass.
Only 3 face up. Little G guard.
Oh, there's the second G guard. Ooh, huge.
Counteract.
Yeah.
Or no, counteract. Impede.
So this impede now, again, blows up the Jesse. XPNX loses out on the counter charge.
Has to be this.
Yeah, that's huge.
And he gets an extra 4, because now this just does not pass anymore.
There's 22-37, which is no pass. Yeah.
Heal. I do heal.
The heal
goes off though.
It is good. Yep. Windspout going in. No, Ghosh. Green Shade going in. Okay.
That should be at this.
Any utility piece he's seeking and drop is the best that you can do.
Yeah. And then Nightstorm kills itself to Hollow. So now XPNX has to be very worried about the Exterminate.
Is 7. Thinking on ride phase.
How many G-Guards do you have this up?
All of them gone now.
Yeah. So he had 3, and then
so
so now he's got 5.
Mm-hmm.
Which means he's on GB8, so we might see close.
Number of GB8.
Yeah, and close getting rid of the entire drop zone and him not having a second belt could completely cook him.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. One of them is protect.
Yeah, one of them is protect. Him maybe having Elementaria could be handy here, so he's probably thinking whether or not he wants to commit the GB8.
Yep.
There are some Vanquisher players that actually used to run a second copy for situations like this, that if you can't finish off the game...
That is V Vanquisher, right? Yes, it is.
Yeah, yes it is. I like how a lot of decks are currently taking like the yeah. So we're going into close here. I like how a lot of decks are going into no mentality with some of their V decks, where they're playing like 1 to 2 copies of the V or G versions themselves, which is really a good heads up play.
Yeah. Yeah, especially in a situation like this, where again, because the full Bronto is restricted, the V Vanquisher at least does something for when you want to stun verse.
19.
19.
And it's
19 cards in bind, which is plus 30, 38 to... no. Yeah, so it's 2k for every, so it's 30, yeah, plus 38k to front row, which is... That's crest numbers, baby!
Carlos, top 7.
Alright, gonna take a look at top 7 to see if they can find anything.
There's Esperidia.
Well, we're lacking some multi-attackers. Looks like we got some now.
Does Ner means 5k proc for anyone's bound, or is it specifically opponents?
1, 2, 3.
I think just opponents.
It is
I'll
just
take a look
opponents.
at it.
Yeah, so...
Cole.
Oh no, it counts for retired as
dear.
well. So because the NPix was retired, the Num still gets plus 5.
Oh dear. Contemplating what he wants to put the demo. Putting it on a Vanguard is completely useless. On a side column is a lot more threatening.
Yeah, definitely.
So everything is huge.
Yep,
It's plus 38, and this is
18 base.
18.
So 56k. Whoa.
Sure. Yeah, 56 is currently the number.
I mean, we haven't seen that many heals out of
18
XKNX.
plus
He drove
36?
check 1, we know of. But there could still be 1 or 2 more in the deck. I would not count them out just
18
yet.
plus
Would not
38.
be. Plus 38. 56, yeah.
38, 48, 56, yes.
Right, yeah, 56.
Yeah, they're getting help out with math because your boy is also not good at math either sometimes. So I like it.
Get the numbers on.
Man,
Is
can't
everything separate?
read, can't do maths. Can Vanguard players do anything?
This guy
We
plus 10,
can
yeah.
hit that beautiful
This has plus 5,
yellow
this has
square,
plus 5.
and I like that yellow square.
Oh, you're so
On the top
true.
of my card. That's my favorite square. I don't need to do math if my opponent it gets 2 damage.
It's like that castle meme, you know, like my based and skillful crit trigger, my opponent's sacky, unfair crit trigger.
Exactly. It's the same thing like the Arthur meme, right? Like DW standing outside of the door, there's a sign posted up. Joke's on you, I can't read.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I play DP. You just make up a number and hope your opponent believes you.
Exactly. 100,000 Garbrick.
Yeah, it's like, it's like
crit.
It's like you just say like 87k, something in that ballpark, and your opponent's like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, PG, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like the old Magic the Gathering adage: math is for blockers.
Oh my gosh, and that's. I feel like that's a DP or Stargate's philosophy in general. Just like, bro, I can't. See, these are all numbers. I need you to figure that out. I'm just attacking. I'm just here to attack.
So yeah,
Joe
XPNX
is
has just been
9 plus
mapping. So
14
14.
plus
52.
52.
Yeah. So not
Yeah,
as
so-
big, but still pretty big. Magic numbers
Well,
specifically.
With 8 cards in hand, I think these are just all like massive right now. So this nothing short of like a couple of heal triggers could save him here, and I think he's hit like 3 of them. So we'll see how this turns out.
Well, 4 soul, so you can use 2 G guards. I don't know if they do anything here, especially with no drop zone.
Exactly. Oh man.
Only got probably only has like 1 PG. We know he has the protect marker, but
And there's also the restands that are coming too as well. This is...
Yeah. Like if you assume that you have to protect Mark of the Vanguard swing, that's still 1, 2, 3, 4 other attacks you have to deal with. Yeah, the first one comes in and it's not a defensive.
Yeah, I think he has to hit some heals here. Agreed.
Oof.
I agree.
Yeah, that...
Swings Vanguard to less. Stand. This is 65.
So there, drop the protect marker and hope your opponent doesn't check crits.
Exactly.
G.
Boom.
Yep.
First check, critical.
Never mind!
Well, I mean, it's not completely out. He can... He still can donate a decent hand here. That makes guarding a lot harder.
Yes.
So, Elementarian, another PG here too, I guess.
Oh, just for good measure! Just for good measure!
I see.
Esper.
I didn't want to guard anyway. Never mind.
End of battle. Kind of lost reach.
No, I mean, if he still has like 4 cards left in his hand, it would be... How does he live here? 2 PGs, and one of the PGs need to be a DPG and a G guard. That's how he lives.
Plus, I think he still needs a defensive heal on the last attack anyway. On top.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So you guard like all of the ones that has crits that matter, and then
hope to just hit the heal on the non-crit.
Tough, man.
I mean, look, if
this one, and this one have the crit.
Yeah. Okay. So the Cho-O does not have the crit. So the Cho-O is the one that you guard because the Nervum column is huge. Yeah, I was gonna say, if BSF has taught me anything, it's to never say never, so, you know.
This one.
Oh, nope, that's the regular PG, yep. Okay.
Move to Soul Trucker.
Yeah.
Next one, this one.
66 with a crit.
66, crit 2.
So there's the... Down comes the protect marker, I'm guessing?
6.
Oh no, I think he's gonna hard guard here, and I think probably has like.
Oh, he's already used it. Yeah. Oof. Okay. The DPG's been bound. He healed out. Remember? And I don't think he runs a second. Most lists don't run 2 DPGs. Most lists that I've seen are on 2G. Yeah. Oh, he does get the heal, but it's just a little too late.
Yeah, it's 1 damage too much. Oh man.
Yeah. Wow, that was like. I love seeing how the fact that XPNX like teched the matchup specifically for this matchup. He was like, you know, I know that my opponent's going to play Vanquisher. I'm going to put in all these anti-Vanquisher cards. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be ready. And yeah, it just didn't get there. So that's the first result all down. So PGK takes the first game of the finals.
Congratulations to PGK in WCCL. You know, that was XPNX. That was pretty okay. I mean, there was like some turns that were maybe a little less than my liking. Maybe Soul Blasting the Bell maybe wasn't the play. Keeping Bell for your Beatrice turn when you were going to go into Bad Bounty might have been a bit handier, so you can opt to go into Bell in the middle of your combo, which would have been a pretty decent option. But it's hard to know that he's playing a second copy. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say the MVP of that match was definitely the extra Zoras from Gashadokuro. That was like, I don't think anyone was expecting that, and I definitely believe that, you know, XPNX definitely got thrown off a bit, like, holy shit, like, you know, I was expecting Stunverse, I was expecting Exterminate, and then, you know, he just does this, like, you know, what am I gonna do now? Like, and I could see why that maybe could have caused him to, you know, not misplay, but I think like the bad bounty stride turn, I think he definitely could have done more, like, you know, playing around like the G guards, and I feel like maybe it's just, you know, again, being thrown off that rhythm really hurts.
Do you think like a second OB probably could have gotten there too?
Maybe, but again, the thing is, like, so you're playing around at least 1 impede.
Yeah. But
and like, at that point, you've seen the third Zoras. So if you've seen the third Zoras, you might as well assume there's a 4th Zoras.
fair, I think if he wants to make the same board that he had though, so like the same 4 units he had, he committed the extra cards out of his hand. But what if he didn't need to and he just like committed the extra crit that he could just use that to draw cards with? The same sort of crit. So then he just goes for a farm turn again and he tries to like eat this GBA with a bit of a fatter hand. So instead of like 8 cards, maybe somewhere around 11. But it's not guaranteed, obviously.
The other argument as well is that if he strode the Obadiah and he just went for like the Ghost Ship, farm a hand turn.
Yeah.
There's a chance that Gashadokro might not have G-guarded into the GB8 altogether, which would have definitely have been good for XPNX.
Exactly, which gives him a little bit of longer stay, and he probably could have held on to that Angel Ladder maybe for an extra turn, for the extra push he needed.
Possibly, yeah. Because to me, in my mind, the way you want to utilize those pieces is you want a Sleeve Tugging Bell to reset your bind zone, and then leave it on the board under Angel Ladder. That way, the only way of removing that Sleeve Tugging Bell becomes GB8, which again, you can just play around by not attacking. And I think that would definitely have shifted the momentum back into XPNX's favor.
For sure. Because even if he did end up GB8ing, Ladder would have protected him because he can't move it from the circles whatsoever.
Exactly, yeah. So Bell Ladder, that Bell's guaranteed safe, and then during your next turn, once you survived, you can then call over, come back, reset bind again, and then your opponent's just so far, not super far behind, but there's room for XPNX to maneuver at that point, and that's the huge thing. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. So that's how I saw it. Maybe XPNX probably had a completely different line. I mean, obviously he'd probably leave it in the comment section below the video, and he let us know hey, we were idiots, or at least I was the idiot. Hey, this is what I thought,
Yeah. All right. So that's gonna be that is gonna be the first game. I've also got Charlie, Mr. Cardweeb, waiting in the wings for game 2. So thanks again, JJ, for coming on as always. Thanks again also for taking part in this season of VPL. It was great to have you back as a captain. Let people know what they can find you. Let people know what you've got going in the works.
It was a pleasure being here. I want to thank y'all for tuning in and stopping on by. You can follow me on my socials and everywhere under my name of GG Mr. Rogers. And anything that I'm currently been working on is just been working on building up my community, my Discord. So if you want to hop on Discord and chill out and just chat and talk and play not only just Card 5 Vanguard, but other assorted card games as well, you're more than happy to. And maybe some YouTube shorts in the works, talking maybe mulligans when it comes to premium, and hopefully having some known premium players on who might be willing to sit down and talk about some of their decks and lists and, have a good time doing so. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, thank you very much, and have a good evening. I'll see you around soon.
Take care.
All right, take care. All right, let's move straight into the second game with Mr. Cardweeb himself. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on. So before we jump into the game, let's talk a bit about you. So last season, you captained your own team, did decently well. Yep. This season, you played for Deck Players Rebirth. How was it like changing from captain to player?
Honestly, it was a lot better than I initially thought, because I was just trying to chill out this season. I thought that while being a captain was very cool last season, I felt like I just needed to do something a little more casual, and this definitely helped me be a lot more casual, as I was basically playing for fun decks the entire time.
Yeah.
And it definitely helped revitalize some of the lost whimsy of Vanguard that I had over the summer. So it's definitely helpful being a player this time around, and it also helps to show if I if I am a captain for next season or a future season, I know how the players feel now, and it'll definitely help me out with any captain duties I might take on in the future. And I'm really excited for future seasons as well, just to see how the experience evolves for everyone.
Yeah, there you go. And I can tell you for a fact, I've said this before, but to me at least, this season of VPL has not been as much of a resounding success as last season. Last season, my expectations were low, and I exceeded expectations massively. this season, expectations were a bit higher, but I still feel like I came like
definitely.
really short of them. So it's definitely been a learning experience, and yeah, like, it's good to hear that everyone has still enjoyed themselves this season, but there's a lot of my plate to work on as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as a fellow tournament organizer myself, I definitely understand the pains and all the processes that you go through for all this stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a learning experience is pretty good, all things considered, right?
Yeah,
and this just means
exactly.
that any future season is just going to be way better than these first two seasons, which I'm really looking forward to.
There you go. All right, so let's jump into the game. So for the second game of the finals of the VPL, we've got the second premium game of this roster. So from the Purgatory Knights, you've got Crow himself, and then from WCCL, we've got Peter. And I think these two are both players that you are very familiar with.
Oh, definitely, yes. So I know both these players personally. I believe the first time that I met Crow, at least in bracket, was at Worlds in 2022, where we played it out in semis, and I believe you also commentated that game where I
did.
double-critted him out to go to grand finals. But yeah, like, other than Crow, I've known Peter for a very long time from my Vision days. If people know about Cartwright Vision, a very old tournament organization team that has since discontinued its activities. But I've known Peter for a very, very long time, and it's really nice to see that these two are the ones playing, because these two are so consistent with their play, right? Like, Crow has gotten that third place at Worlds back in 22, and he most recently got a first place in BSF for Premium.
Double first place.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly. First place standard and first place in premium. 2 medals in one weekend.
He double first place in one weekend. And then you have Peter on the other hand, who has consistently gotten an invite to Worlds, as well as just like has done a lot of other things, right? We've seen him as caster for Bureau, we've seen him as a judge on the floor, and just a very consistent topping player that you see at a lot of East Coast events. So most people know about these two. Crow also does his own tournament organization on the side with Crow's Nest and Kingslayer occasionally. So it's great to see these two community figures fighting it out. And not to shill, but these two were also players in my Primordial Cup Invitational about a month ago. So this is just another matchup from that event.
There you go. Yeah, like, especially for me, like, talking about Peter's presence in the community, like, I remember, like, almost 10 years ago at this point now, like 8 or 9 years ago, Peter being that annoying kid who wouldn't shut up about Gundam in like everyone's comments, to now, being like, this, like, someone that a lot of people look up to. I think, like, it's really great to see.
Definitely. And then Crow as well, right? Like, we've seen him for a very long time doing community stuff as well, and he's still doing it. He does it for the love of the game, and we love to see that.
Okay,
absolutely. So, we'll jump straight into the game now. So, Crow is on the left,
so
and he's playing Riviere,
2-1-3.
and then on the right, Peter is playing Crestros.
Go 3-1-2, please.
Have you seen Peter play Crestros at all?
I don't think I've ever seen Peter play Grand Blue full stop.
Yeah, 2d6s.
It's really interesting because in our testing group, there's like a lot of Grand Blue players, and I personally haven't seen him play it as well. But he, for some reason, has every single meta deck you can think of. Like, he could have busted out anything he wanted to, and he decided on Rose this time. And I think it's really interesting because, like, he's around all these Grand Blue 3 crafters. I haven't seen him play a single game myself besides like Bureau 2021 when I randomly paired into him and he was on Grand Blue. But other than that, like, I'm looking forward to see how he plays in this matchup, especially since, Crow is on the high roll deck, right? We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, like, it's one of those ones, because, like, if you look at Peter's performance in this season so far, he's been playing like a bunch of Vermilion Geese, which I think is actually an amazing meta call. And I think he's also known for playing Mega Colony. And, like, compared to those two, this deck is complete, like, is the third point of that triangle. It's not aggro, it's not combo, it's just, like, mid-range value, which is very, like, when I think of Peter, I don't think mid-range value.
Stand up.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. And this being a deck that sort of covers that last piece of the triangle, as you state, will really show us how consistent he is as a player, and I am excited to see how he navigates this matchup. And we do see
Crow goes first. Yep. Now, is he
we
going to
have the
have the
courage
grade
in hand.
1
We
to
just
ride up?
You just won.
Does he have the right one?
For this matchup in particular.
Yeah, I assume we have the courage in hand if he takes the Riviere starter there, but if we do, we do see 2 Riviere searches from deck, which means 2 more deck thins, right?
No,
As each
proceeding
grade
to
1
pride,
Riviere also
pride
searches top
courage,
7 for another
down.
Riviere.
Yep, there's
And
courage.
We see the courage.
Triple starters.
Do you...
The third Riviere starter.
Skip the steps.
Yeah.
Someone go ahead and search
Hey
after
Ben,
me.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
Do you have the courage? Do you have the courage to play in this matchup?
Oh god, no.
A 2?
I mean, for this particular matchup, I would have been fine because
Is it?
like
No, it's
Riviere is very good at the high roll, but it doesn't kill me on turn 3, which means I stride Demel Zors and win the game. But that's because I'm playing unfair decks.
3-1-2, please.
Yeah.
That's
Like
fair,
on the
but-
topic of Crow getting the double
so-
gold medal at that BSF,
40s,
on the
hey,
same
someone's going
weekend,
to start
I was this close to getting the double gold
So
medal
first
myself.
one,
I just want to say.
So I'll let it draw off this.
Oh yeah. I heard about the little incident that you had with with your deck log, which I won't go into.
No, it's, I mean, I don't mind talking about it. Like, I did
Okay.
a stupid, like, I forgot to register my OT, I got thrown out of top 8 because of it. I'm not that bothered, like, I'm not that mad, like, I don't regret anything, like, I had fun anyway, but, like, knowing the top 8 being what it was, so,
Because I saw lesson.
for full
starter.
while Crow does his combo, I'll explain. So that top 8 at BSM Manchester, we had 2 Crestless Roses,
What did it
we
get?
had Chronojet, we had Regalia,
Good.
we had Dantarian, we had Highlander, and then we had Fenrir Loop.
Hey boy.
And if
I know
I had
that
been in the
means
top 8, I would have been in instead of the Fenrir Loop, which means that I would have been the only unfair deck against 7 other fair
1, 2,
decks.
3.
Go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. That would have been a really nice bracket for you.
Yeah, and not that, like,
Definitely in the case that you don't break, right?
based
So
on the
yeah,
top
that
8s,
sounds
like,
really nice.
based on the top 8, my first round of 8 opponent would have been Dantarian, Cormac, which is basically a guaranteed win.
But grade 3.
This round 2 would have been 2nd versus 7th. It would have been either Crestless Rose or Highlander, which would have been a little bit harder. And then the finals would have been either Crestless Rose or Jet, both of which, Jet is easy, Crestless Rose, they can Obadiah out all their grade 3s, and then I never get Soul again, which can be difficult. But yeah, it's...
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I don't want to say, like, I would have won the tournament, but I think I had a good chance.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. I definitely do agree there. I mean, considering that the deck also has the potential to start going off on turn
go
3
1,
as
2, 3.
well.
Yeah.
You can definitely get there before any other deck does their
It'll be
thing.
the last shuffle.
But
Yeah.
like, let's get back into the game real quick. Like,
Yeah, I
we
think
saw
Crow's
Crow
just finished
proc
his combo.
4 grade 1 ribs. Like, he proc 4 grade 1 ribs, he drew 3 cards, that is a fat hand. So surely there's a Selena in there to ride skip,
Yeah.
right?
Drew
Surely.
3 cards, filtered out 3 more cards. Like,
5.
yeah, he just...
Oh,
This is the high roll of high rolls.
yeah, but it doesn't look like we have the Selena as it goes back over to Peter. But I
Yep.
mean, like, deck thinning, how many was that? That was 3 ribs out from deck, and then another 3 or 4 ribs out from their own skill, and a draw 3. That's 10 cards out of the deck already.
Plus
that is insane.
Plus the 3 rivs that Soul Blasted the grade 0 found an extra. But he did, so
Oh, sorry.
Peter does
Sorry, my
find
bad.
Crest.
These were the cards that I
Yeah.
had off that. My bad.
Yep. Go ahead and reshuffle.
Yep. That's
Oh, okay,
my
he's
fault.
just he's
Shuffling
just
before he draws, yeah.
shuffle, yeah.
And I'm glad I do have to do the 1.
Yeah, he does find the crest, which is really nice here, especially since the Rift Crow here didn't superior ride. So we are on a little more of a level playing field. And I do want to see how Crow plays out this situation, because while he did deck thin a lot, he's not exactly ahead,
Okay.
right? This is the same as just going first in a normal deck. There's no ride skip. We don't know what else is in his hand besides his Riviere searches. So we'll see where it pans out.
I mean, Crow gives him the Sorry, Peter gives him the damage, so Crow now could ride grade 2 and then grade skip to 3.
2 of these come out.
Oh no, he can't grade skip to 3. You can only grade skip to 2 off the 1.
I thought the other grade 2 lets you go up to 3 as well.
No. It only lets you go up to 2. It doesn't let you go to 3. The one you're thinking about is Chua.
Right,
The
yeah.
band card, yeah.
Discard Tommy.
So Crow
Did
actually
you see the
damaged 9
damage
Peter
down
there. Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
that line.
Yeah, it's...
Just
So
turning
the
off
column bar
that
that
turn
we
2.
talked about
Exactly,
too.
yeah.
Where are you? There you are.
And then one of the big strengths of Crest is that you can then use D Tommy
That's
to
the
just
other
guarantee your grade 3 ride.
My boy.
There we go.
Yeah, we see he's trying to pick the shiny one just for that feng shui, you know. Gotta pick the shiniest one in the deck.
And the other great thing about going first and second is that, so obviously Crest makers are restricted with history strides, but Peter's going second, so assuming Crow gives him that first ride, he doesn't need to worry about history maker, he just first strides Columbard. Well, not Columbard, first strides Obadiah, and then it's
Obadiah,
business as normal.
Hey, Ashley Druid, let's go.
Ooh, Crow hits his history stride though.
Yeah, I do find it interesting that Peter has been swinging because from past experiences with Riv, you usually try to damage an eye so that they can't get the full attack extension off. Yeah. I guess like in this situation where your opponent did not right skip and you're being damaged an eye, it's probably a lot safer for you to give the damage. Because now you're playing a normal game, right? So you can go into Obadiah, set up your defenses, and then possibly kill in the crackback.
Plus, because he's on history stride and not Riviere grade 3, there's a lot less like danger to just die out of nowhere because there's not gonna be like 4 drive checks, 2 of which are crits now.
Yeah, the one thing I am scared about, at least like with Riviere in general, is the Megiddo turn, especially if the opponent sees the history collection stride, right? They can do it as early as second stride. They have 3 force markers with like, was it 5 rear guards that swap places? Not mentioning the extra Selenas that could be there as well.
Exactly, right? So it's up to like 7 or 8 attacks on those double force markers.
31.
Exactly, yeah. But from what I've seen from I believe Crow posted his list on his Twitter after his first place, he's not running Megiddo. Which I think is really interesting because it removes that potential kill option for him, right? Especially if he might get behind in this matchup. So I think there might be a bit of an issue killing if Peter stabilizes.
Yeah, and then you can see like the defensive draw from Pete there, plus the PG used on the Vanguard swing. It's like Crow's not going tempo negative this turn, but I think he's definitely going to achieve a lot less than he was hoping to. This V like right pick Supreme as well, not having a booster, not being able to use its effect. Only 2 triggers come down on the grade 2 Riviere on the rear guard circle, but that's still only 38. Like that's into your opponent's 19. Like that's not as impossible to guard as it seems.
40. That's 40.
It is 40.
Grade 1
yes,
2 came back. Yeah,
it does. But it's only 1 damage, which, Pete's happy to take.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. You just guard with the Guardian Shield there for the right fixer, and then it's your turn. Yeah, like being at 2, going into your Obadiah turn against Riviere is really strong here, considering that you stabilize really well off Obadiah, and then your opponent is also at 1 damage, so you could argue to damage Knight here to prevent the Heltrata. And then I believe Crow would have to go into Tirua, which is like what? That's a net even, right?
It's technically a neg 1 because he needs to make a board to then suck the board up to regain the 2 drives.
Yeah.
Right, great, go.
I mean, like even then, even if Peter does want to go like all in on Van, like push Krupp to 3 or 4, I think if he goes like the double ghost ship, like really like grind out sort of Obadiah turn, he should like he's only on 2 damage. He should be fine.
I don't want to discard.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if we go the farming route with Ghost Ship and a little more attack extension, we should be fine into most strides here. Like, again, because there's no Megiddo, we don't really have to worry much about a potential kill out of nowhere, right? It's just the normal kill options with Tirua, Heltrata, a normal Riv turn, that kind of thing. So it won't be too much. And we do see the Nightstorm discard here for Stride, so we do have the attack extension available to us. So this should be a very good turn for Peter to farm up. Even though, honestly, like, what do you think about Crow's hand size right now? Since I'm pretty sure he has about 10 or more cards in his hand. But
yeah, we saw the draw being drive checked there, and the thing about Riviere though is that compared to like Highlander, Riviere's hand is not as, it's a little bit faker because a lot of it's combo pieces, a lot of it's 5k shield. You don't get to like just you don't get to like salvage reuse your V guards or like heal guardians or whatever at will.
Yeah.
So my question is, sure, there's 10 plus cards in Crow's hand, but how much effective shield value is there realistically? Like, if Peter does like choose to like just go all in, do like the 5, 6, 7 attack turn with like double Nightstorm, like can Crow do anything about it? And I don't think so.
Let's go.
I think Crow can definitely stabilize for like at least another turn or two, because the thing with this deck at least is that because you filter out so many cards, you're more likely to see triggers, right? And triggers are where all your guard value is at.
Yeah.
So as long as you see like 1 PG, 1 heal, something of the sort, something similar to that, then you should be able to survive most turns as long as Peter doesn't go into Bart. If he goes into Bart, then that's a completely different issue where you're probably losing that turn anyways.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think we will definitely see a few more turns, a few more stride turns between these two.
Interestingly enough, Peter here doesn't drop a ghost ship. He instead mills the Honolly, which could be very relevant here.
Already.
No, not ghost ship. Sorry, Skull Dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no Skull Dragon rotation.
No worry,
I mean, I think that's fine considering this is first OB, right? We're trying to farm rather than get aggression, and Ghost Ship does pretty much the same thing as Skull Dragon right now because your drop is not that big, so it hits for a very similar number while also getting you a card.
So Grenache here and hollow it, and then one more.
So probably the Beatrice here, because I don't think you want to discard for the bone to make a board quite yet. I think losing the soul does kind of hurt, but I think...
Honolly.
Oh!
Hollow Grenache.
Honolly off the Obadiah.
I think this is a very fine play, just because this looks like we're trying to deny Crow the counterblast. Oh, I guess we're taking it back. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think the Honolly line is fine, especially if we swing into a rear guard. This turns off the Red Fixer, turns off Heltrata, and it lets you survive, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, I
also,
definitely agree. Like, Honolly needs to come... I see Honolly coming out this turn no matter what. I just see it coming in off of, like, the Nightstorm or something. Or the Beatrice later down the line.
This is
committing a crit from hand is interesting. I guess.
This is.
I mean,
19,
without
another 5,
without the Negro Lily Beatrice play, I'm not sure what Peter wants to have all that soul for.
Oh, because you caught up.
So the crit is more so to get into rotation, because any free call that calls the crit is an extra +1 at hand, right? It also makes Vanguard more threatening here, so that it isn't just a G guard for a 2 to pass, it's now a G guard for 1 to pass. So I don't think it's that bad. This also gives a booster for a potential defensive here. So if we call like Ghost Ship out, right, it's 28 instead of 24. Which is still a 15k guard, or sorry, a 10k guard instead of a 5k guard.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But I mean, you know, in regards to at least to the point about making the Vanguard column bigger, like I said in the previous game, I am of the opinion that you just always no guard the first Obadiah. Like, you know, they haven't, like, Peter's compressed more than XP last game, but he still hasn't compressed that much.
This is gonna be.
And like I say that, and this is where Peter checks like 2 more crits on the Obadiah.
Maybe. I mean, I do get where you're coming from. In my opinion, I like to guard Grambly swings anyways, as long as they're not like in Crest case, right? They're not big numbers, so I'd like to guard them regardless. Or like if you're playing against Crestless Rose, I like to save damage for the Skull Dragon swing so that you aren't reliant on seeing a bunch of PGs for those. But we do see a very aggressive approach, as you were talking about at the beginning of this turn, with a Beatrice and a Ghost Ship call. So the triggers will definitely go on the Beatrice, but this is definitely very scary for Crow, as he's been guarding he guarded the first 3 attacks, right?
Yeah.
Which means that he's definitely taking all these swings, and
no crits coming in is pretty good though. Yeah,
he's in a very precarious situation.
See, Crow no guards the Obadiah and gets rewarded for it. The heal is live though, which is very bad for tempo. You know, 1 to 3 is it's a major deficit. Plus, like, there's a good chance I think Crow goes up to 4 this turn. You know, even if he guards this Beatrice number, the Ghost Ship is still 29.
Oh no, the Ghost Ship's 24.
Lotus.
So it's
Crest.
still a 1 card guard.
34.
Oh right, sorry, Crest. Yeah.
Oh no, 34 because he put the trigger. Yeah, no.
My bad.
Yeah, I thought he put the trigger on the Beatrice, not the Ghost Ship. That's why. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you put the trigger on Beatrice. Okay, so
yeah,
the
so
17 34. Yeah, those are awkward.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, 17 is guardable, but 17 is 10k shield because you're an 11k base. That is the awkward thing about history strides.
Gonna check nothing. Courage.
Yeah,
so yeah, it goes
and you're
to
also
4.
forcing 10k shield into a deck that filter out all of its 10k shields already, right? So
exactly.
You're forced to guard with the trigger regardless.
Well, he does have the D draw that we saw him drive check, so he could have used that.
Yeah. No, he already guarded that for an earlier swing. And
Oh,
because Peter
right.
knows he doesn't have that anymore, he can afford to put the power on the ghost ship.
Citron here.
Right.
Yeah, this also forces a G-guard out, which is really good for a future Bart turn. And like if we decide to go Bad Bounty next turn with a bunch of G-guards face up, that definitely seals the deal. As Crow, what do you think you do here? You're at 4. Your opponent is at 1 now with a decently large hand.
Yeah,
And
like
it's a crest deck, right? So they scale a lot throughout this next turn if they G-guard a bunch. So what would you do in this situation? Would you try to like go for the game here, or would you try to stabilize?
I think if your opponent's on 1 damage, go for the game is just not an option. Like that's, I think it's just off the table. I don't know if you go for like a build resources option or just a whittle down their stuff option, because like you said, you know, the heal being active from Peter means that at worst he G-guards into Negro Nora.
Yeah, Nora.
Yeah, and like you know, his Bad Bounty is now plus 20k to the front row. Like that is terrifying for sure.
Plus 10 for the battle, and then for the rest of the turn.
Oh my god!
Watermelon as well.
Watermelon order. Oh my god. Okay, this turn is definitely not killing, and that also means that all the pressure is off as well, right? Like
Yeah, like after the Helltrouter swing, nothing hits ever again, basically.
Power draw.
yeah.
The defensive draw on top.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, this this looks really bad for Crow.
I mean,
He
it's
might
not
just
too bad.
call
Like
anything
you
to the
can,
front.
yeah, like Helltrouter, you can plus off Helltrouter. It's not a commit, but you know, discarding it like he's discarded 2 5k shields. Discarding the crit hurts, but it's not the end of the world.
Alright, cool. So then plus 5 right now, so it's at plus 15.
Okay, so he's not going to
Yeah,
go for a
my
heavy
issue-
commit.
So I'm at 20.
Yeah, my issue is that like we're going into Crest Grand Blue, right? You know they have a guaranteed heal in their hand, and if they G-guard, it's like you said, right? 20k to front row off Crest, and then they also have the option to go into a kill strike next turn, right? With Bad Bounty. While we don't see another Rose in the drop zone for us to rewrite into, at least I don't think I saw one.
Not yet.
You know, like he could just have one in hand, right?
I mean,
And
yeah,
that's
he could just
basically
rewrite
game.
Soul Blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like the options
that's
are there,
basically game,
especially with a
right?
hand that big.
Yeah, exactly. And we still have the Nightstorm Beatrice loop to worry about as well. It's like Megiddo, but if you're not on an ultimate stride.
I'm gonna go Negro mode.
Okay, so not Negro Nora, so he doesn't want to. He's not accelerating the G zone. He's just Soul Blasting one to gain a bunch of shield.
Plus 10k shield.
Yeah, he's playing it safe
right
here.
now, 28,
I mean, you're still scaling by G-guarding, of
33,
course, but we definitely want to stay at low damage. I'm pretty sure he's playing around the Megiddo right now if he doesn't know that Crow doesn't have it.
Yeah.
But here on the Megiddo is definitely a smarter decision to make so that you aren't randomly blown out.
You know, add on an additional.
So Peter's actually committing quite a few cards
That
here.
makes it 3 to pass. Go for it.
One crit.
Whoa. Maybe you do just go for it.
I mean, in my head, I feel like you have to
protecting
because
it,
Peter's
right?
already 22k base. Sorry, 27. Sorry, Crest, 28. He's a 28k base, right? And any more Selena calls would make him like 33, 38, right?
Yeah.
So
Vanguard is how big?
it's really awkward to put on the rear
28
guard because
right
the
now.
rear guard
After
is
you
going to be a
restand the
15k
Vanguard
guard,
off of Helltrata, it'll
I
become
believe,
30.
or 20k guard, right?
Yeah.
Which is really small. So you might as well just put it Vanguard.
If he
you
puts
were
trigger
going.
onto the rear, it becomes 39.
Everything
39
Vanguard.
is, yeah, 15k shield.
Everything Vanguard.
Whoa! He does it!
1 power plus 5. 2. Alright. So then.
Okay, so we're suddenly back in
I'm
it.
at 33, and if
Yeah,
If you
Peter's
choose
been
to
put into
do the
kill
Hellfire,
range, so
I'm
we're
going
definitely not killing this turn, I don't
Hellfire.
think, unless he sacks
I'll be
past a
10-30.
2 to pass this turn. But this definitely puts him into range for a future kill turn, right? This is exactly what Crow needed to get back into the game.
Yeah. Like, I could see a world where you just swing Riviere unboosted, doesn't hit just to get the 2 drives and pass. Oh, no, he's gonna go for it.
38 now because of
38.
the
Okay.
Because of the
cool.
I think
watermelon.
it's definitely
yeah.
better to it's better to push the pressure here, right? Because you want him to Tuta pass again, and then for you to break the Tuta pass, right? That's ideally that's what you want. But if he does G guard into Negranora here and then kills you because of that, then that's just unfortunate, right? But we do see the G guard here. But I think it's a risk that you should be taking anyways, because you know there's a potential for the win there, right? And based off of what's been shown so far, I don't think he lives anyways because he gave the 2 extra damage, and we know that there's a Jesse in the drop zone as well. So we get the full 4 counterblast for next turn.
Got you. Check 1, nothing.
Freya and a crit. I don't think that hits though, because that's 29, 30.
Peter's 43k base.
Yeah, it's 39 to 43.
Yeah.
Yo, we can hit the rear guard though.
15 from triggers, 10 from watermelon.
Oh, Crow is a lot lower in deck than I thought. I guess that death intent at the beginning of the game like puts you way low in deck.
I will G-guard. Yeah, G-guard.
Peter, they're using his third G-guard. Crazy.
Oh my god!
I guess that's why he didn't use the Negranora. He wants to be able to like maximize his G flips.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Peter's trying to fish for the last rose right here because we see the one on Van. There's one in the damage zone, so there's only 2 left. And I don't believe I saw the rose in the Obi mill as well. So he might be trying to find it so he can actually go into a bad bounty turn. Otherwise, he's accelerating his drop zone for a Bart turn, which arguably is even worse for Crow here, right? And especially in this format with no OTs, there's no out. You just have to hit heal after heal after heal.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just go.
Oh, he had it in hand. I don't know if he's. I think he is on Bart numbers. Like
bounty.
Because Peter's also quite low on deck. But no, we're just gonna see the bad bounty, which is still good enough. Yep.
Yeah, like bad bounty is still really good. You have a follow up as well, right? Versus Bart, which you generally dump your entire hand to hit that 30 and drop.
Yeah.
So Bart is definitely safer. I'm pretty sure Peter's at like 22-ish cards and drop anyway, so he would need to discard a lot to get to 30.
Call out Night Storm and hollow it.
Oh, this just reminds me of the V days, honestly. There's right fixers, you're on V rows. We committed 2 boosters to the back for potential fixers. Oh boy.
25.
We're gonna get plus 30 to the front row too after, or sorry, plus 25 to the front row after this bad bounty, because, oh sorry, no, it is 30, yeah. We have 5 face up right now.
Yep.
5 face up right now, and then
there'll be 6, yeah.
Yeah, dude, this Nightstorm Beatrice combo is gonna go fucking crazy.
This is 37 to Vanguard.
That Beatrice 37?
Isn't there arguably even a world where you just swing with the bad bounty first, just so that this Beatrice swing gets an extra 5k?
I assume what's going on is that we're setting up for a Jesse call. So that we get the full counter charge and we don't have to waste the Night Rose call on the Jesse.
But you already have the Franch in your drop zone, and you're saving, like, if you're saving the boosters for the Ride Fixer, then you might as well, like, swing with the Vanguard first, get triggers, put them on the unboosted swings, give the unboosted swings Night Rose power on top to make them even more unguardable, and then go into full combo afterwards, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do think swinging Vanguard here first is better. The only reason I swing Rearguard first is if, like, there's a crit, right?
Or, like, yeah, he already gets a defensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, crest scaling alone making this, what, 37 is... That's kind of yikes from Crow's position.
Yeah, there's also the other argument where you're swinging rear first to hoping that he takes the damage so that he can't no-guard the Vanguard, right? In the scenario where, like, no-guarding the Vanguard would save him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, we have Skull Dragons in our drop zone, so you'd want to take the damage on that instead. Maybe he's trying to set up a Skull Dragon in the front row instead, off the Night Storm, so that he can put the crits onto it.
Yeah, I could also see that.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I guess, like, saving the boost is not the end of the world, because again, you've got the crest scaling to make up for it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if Crow's playing the same list as he was in Georgia, but if he did tech this out for this specific matchup, he would have put in, like, a few Honolys, right? So this could also just be, like, him delaying the Nightstorm so he can call out P-Chan for the Honolly. But that's in the case he plays the Honolly, which I'm pretty sure there's a pretty low chance. So I'm pretty sure it's just a straight up, like, full power turn, no floodgates or anything.
I mean, that's a pretty high level thought process. You're like, oh, my opponent might Citron out a Honolly, so I want to save everything so I can P-Chan the Honolly. That is I think that just really shows the caliber that these players are at. Like, what, like,
3, 4,
they might not be thinking that at
5.
all, but the fact that there is a thought that could have gone through their minds, I think is quite impressive.
How many draws I have?
Ooh, that's also important, I guess. So 2 draw PGs out. Grand Blue doesn't usually play any more than that. It's usually crit heavy.
Yeah.
So I think,
Especially no OT, right? Because there's no Bless Favor anymore. So that means there's no like random trigger that draws too.
yeah, so the chance of you decking out is now even lower, which means it's the onus is on Crow to make a play.
Yeah.
Because like even if Crow survives this turn, which is already looking unlikely, there's a good chance that he just decks out.
No worries.
Oh yeah,
We're
definitely.
in an untimed game.
I think it's crazy that like we're in this board state where like Peter's on his second stride, right? He's on Bad Bounty. Crow has farmed a lot. He decked in a lot. He has like what 10 cards left in his deck or something. He checked 4 triggers last turn. So he does have a lot of shield in his hand, but he's still struggling to guard this turn just because of like the raw ceiling of Grand Blue, at least like with Crest, right?
Yeah.
Because having 6 face-up G units and having V Night Rose on your Vanguard as well, that's 35k to like your entire front row. That's a lot of power.
Across like 5 or 6 attacks.
Oh, it's definitely more than that. That's for sure. Because every CV is about 2 more attacks, right? So because we see 3 face-up CV right now, that's like an extra 6 attacks minimum.
Well, it's gonna be 2 because he has to spend 1 on the Bad Bounty, and then if he wants to make the Jessie, he has to Night Storm out the Jessie.
No, you can call up Beatrice and then Jessie, so it's completely okay. It's still 2 extra attacks.
The Tremaine here makes me 38.
Sure, but then you don't get triggers onto the Night Storm,
Alright, cool. So we go Vanguard.
which I think you kind
I
of
mean,
want.
I don't think we'll do that here. I think it'll be like after this Vanguard swing.
28 plus 25.
So second Citron is used, and a Honley doesn't come down, which would have really helped Crow here.
Okay.
I think he's definitely trying to wait until Peter's used up a considerable amount of counterblast, or like, you know, after a Nightstorm swing, so that he can't just deny the Honolly right away.
Alright, so now you have what, 9 cards in hand?
3, 6, 9, correct.
Alright,
So 9 cards after PGing and heal guarding.
Third.
Crit.
I'm gonna go Counterblast 1.
There it is.
Man, this is really funny. This is Grand Blue, right? Like,
Yep.
we're watching a Grand Blue game, right? We've only seen 1 trigger every single drive check. Every triple drive is in 1 trigger.
Get another Protect marker.
I mean, I guess by that metric, you could technically say this is low rolling,
There we go. And now-
Yeah, right?
which feels really weird.
This is a low roll, which is
1 plus
crazy.
30,
Especially since, like, we saw Crow on the other side high rolling on turn 1 as well.
Yeah.
1,
And we know his hand is,
59 with a crit.
like, mainly triggers, right? Because he, I believe he only discarded 1 15k off of Heltrata, and then he draw checked 4 triggers that turn as well. I don't think he discarded many 15ks, if at all.
Yeah.
So his hand is just filled with triggers.
So this is 19, 29, 59, 69. Oh, 69! And it's got a crit. Oh, this. All right, I've decided. Just from this alone, it should be Peter's game.
Just from the nice number?
Look, all I'm saying is the last time I saw someone make a 69k like unit in Grand Blue, it was Andre, and he won BSF. I'm just saying.
You know, I can't argue with that. Like, especially since, you know, like it's like, I believe you posted this. I forgot who posted this, where it's the youngest member of Brexit winning entire event. It's just like that all over again.
Yeah, yeah, the stars aligned for that very reason. See, that's why, like, you know, the last time I made a 69k unit, it was using Tachikaze at Worlds, and that's why I didn't do very well, because it wasn't Grand Blue.
It has to be Grand Blue. It has to be 69k, and you have to be the youngest in your group. That it needs all 3 of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we do see the
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot.
the
Yeah,
column
so, yeah,
resets here with
Mhm.
Nightstorm calling out the Beatrice,
Gotcha.
using V Rose to retire the Nightstorm, and then calling it back out. Beatrice, a combo that can only be used while you're on V Rose,
I think we'll take
which
this
is
here.
very cool.
Okay,
Considering that V Rose is still being used in Crestless as well.
Yep. Crow does
and-
get the defensive,
That's
which
everything.
helps a little bit. I don't know if it helps much, but it helps a little.
Yeah, 10k is definitely like a lot of help into plus 35k front row. Yeah.
Thinking.
So we probably expect that this Nightstorm probably calls out the Franch, and then the Franch calls out Jesse.
No, he only has one more CB, so he has to call it out after this. So I assume it's gonna be Beatrice Jesse, and then after that will be the
Right, the
natural Rose.
French, and then Rose
Yeah.
into French and probably Skull Dragon.
Yeah, what I might have done instead of like calling out this Beatrice Stormplay is called out another Skull Dragon, because you have. So Nightstorm is a call anything, right? And
Yeah.
then Rose is a call anything. So you'd
Uh-huh.
rather maximize your Skull Dragon, the amount of Skull Dragon attacks you have, instead of just going for raw number of attacks, right? You still get the same amount of attacks. It's just that more of them are Skull Dragon than this current play, right? Which the entire chain ends up on a Jesse versus ending up on a Skull Dragon.
No, because you'd lose. You would do one less attack, but one more of them is a Skull Dragon attack. Because now, like, instead of calling out the instead of calling out the Beatrice to call out the
effectively the
Nightstorm,
same number
you'd be
of
calling out the Skull Dragon, so you're losing an attack.
Yeah, but then you still have the CB from Rose to call Storm out again.
Right, but that's still the same line that you're doing now. You just have one extra CB and one extra Skull Dragon attack instead of this, 37k Beatrice poke into another 36k Nightstorm poke.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, sorry. It wasn't what you call off this. If you were to call Jesse and maximize
you're starting
Skull
to
Dragon
reload
lines, it would have to be at the start of the turn. So
Oh, right, that's what you
Yeah.
meant. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, if you call the Jesse at the very start, just by committing one more card from hand, then you definitely like get more Skull Dragon attacks. But with this current line, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
G-Guard is the question. Which do I want to?
And here's what's really messed up. Crow could still Citron out the Honley,
5.
but then Peter could still Nightstorm out the P-Chan.
Super text.
Well, the issue with Nightstorming out the P-Chan is that he won't have Counterblast for V Rose. So what you would do instead is you just won't use Nightstorm, or like you can call the Jesse. The Jesse would have to swing at a rear guard.
Yep.
And then Vanguard calls out the P-Chan instead.
That's annoying.
Which is still fine, because then, if he calls out P-Chan Beatrice into Skull Dragon, he's not calling out a multi-attack extender.
We'll pick
In which case, the Honley's still done its job.
28.
Yeah, the only issue is if you call Honley behind Vanguard, right? Because P-Chan
Yes.
has to be called in the same column.
Yeah.
So if he calls it behind Vanguard, he can only call the P-Chan, which there's no point.
No, because Night Rose has to call to two different rows. So you call the P-Chan in the back row behind Vanguard,
No, it's-
and then you just call Skull
I thought it
Dragon.
was the same column.
Jesse.
Is it not the same column?
No, it's
Am I
a separate
tripping?
rows. It's a separate rows.
Oh,
One front, one back, yeah.
it's just Doji. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 19 plus an additional 30, so 49.
1, 2, 3.
I've played against this deck so many times, and I have not read V Night Rose.
Oh, yeah, so Crow just doesn't have it.
I had 2 PGs left in hand, and I had to rerun
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, so he's saving the PGs for the Skull Dragons, which makes a lot of sense.
5 attacks.
Yeah,
It was more so
if you get 2 Skull Dragon
watermelon
attacks here.
and every defensive trigger in the world that you hit.
And I mean that's not really enough,
I
right?
had-
Especially
what
with
is it?
like
I
3
had
attacks
the-
before these Skull Dragons,
Yep.
and one of them's a Vanguard, so it's a
Yeah.
lot harder to guard.
Alright, so that is game 2 going to Peter, evening it out for WCCL. So it's still anyone's game. So now it all comes down to the standard games. Oh, so who's your money on?
You know, like you're asking someone with a lot of bias right now. Do you want my biased take or do you want my unbiased take?
We'll take either.
I'll take okay. I'll start off with the unbiased take. I think it's quite even between the two. Looking at these matchups, like I don't personally know too many people on Purgatory Knights, but I know that I see that like for at least for matchups that I think would objectively be favored in one side or another. Shubao versus BB, I think there's a slight edge to BB, just because I've seen that man sack out people so many times. There's like so much going on there. Aberdeen versus Super God Ivan. I don't personally know what would happen there. I think both like those two are pretty consistent in their own right. So I think that one's a 50-50.
Yep.
Kentio against the Swag Messiah. Like, bias aside, Kenzio's just really strong, right? Like, we've all seen what he can do, so my money's on Kenzio in that matchup. Zero versus Nuno. I mean, again, same thing. Nuno's really strong. I think we know what would happen there. And then, personally, I'm unsure about Adrian versus Neku, but my personal money's on Adrian just because he was my teammate last year.
Yeah.
So there's a little bias towards that.
Sure.
In terms of like which team would take it all, WCCL looks really, really strong, but I would not be surprised if Purgatory Knights also takes it. As for my personal bias, yeah, I'm on Steven's side, man. I'm on WCCL side all the way. Like, half that roster, I know personally. I'll take that side any day of the week.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, I will just say, Purgatory Knights, like, Jake has led this team on, like, 3 different Cinderella stories already in this one season alone. So, I don't know, I feel like if he's done it this much, he can do it one more time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I do think that there's a pretty good chance that Jake could also just take the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
I do. Were the leaders just not like putting themselves in the lineup? Because I think that would be pretty fun to watch.
It would have
like,
been fun. I think like the idea was that I think they originally planned to like be the tiebreaker, but then obviously we switched it down to 7 instead of 8 games in the week, so the tiebreaker is no longer needed again. And then, as much as I would have liked to like do a full like 10-man v 10-man roster for the finals, I think it would just been like too difficult for scheduling to make it feasible. But
definitely. And then
we might do the finals captain just for honor exhibition match at the end of the season, maybe if we have time.
Yeah, Thug finals. Yeah, I'm down to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in Shubao versus BB, believe it or not, that's actually the game we're going to watch right now with Echo.
Oh, okay.
So stick around, yeah. But until then, just thanks again for being, for jumping on with me, and thanks again for taking part in the event. I'm glad you had a lot of fun with it this time around, and yeah, let everyone know where they can find you and what you've got cooking.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a blast casting with you as well. For people who don't know who I am, I'm Cardweeb, otherwise called Charlie by basically everyone at this point. You can find me on Twitter or YouTube. On YouTube, I primarily stream my own events where I sort of make up ideas. I do like open tournaments sometimes, and sometimes do invitationals. So definitely look forward to these events. If you're interested in joining these events, I also have my own Discord, which you can find on my Twitter or on my YouTube. So definitely check those two out. I do have another cool small invitational planned for January. At BCS Vancouver. So if you're interested in watching that, definitely check it out. And if you're in Vancouver around that time, definitely hit me up. I might invite you. I think it'd be really cool to have more community members that we can showcase in a invitational setting. And like this community is great, right? Like that's why we put on these events like these. And I'm sure that's why Ben also put on this event.
That's it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Alright, thanks very much, and I will see you around. Take care. Good night.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Alright, so let's get that third and final game in with Mr. There's no politically correct way for me to end that sentence. Hello, how are you this evening?
How you doing, baby?
Alright, we've just come off the back of 2 really intense games of Premium. And so to round off the evening, we are going to watch Shubao versus BBXE play Standard. And Charlie was looking forward to these players because, BBXE's been around the community for a while. He's kind of known in the NA scene. Shubao is like not as well known, but is definitely a rising star. One of the star players of WCCL. And the matchup as well, we've got Heart Luru versus Baf Saga, which I would say is probably one of the most relevant matchups in the game right now.
Yeah, like especially for like this BCS season coming up, like with the new deck being like with Hotlaru just being introduced, we see from the JP results that it is one of Buffsagara's biggest counters.
Yeah.
So like I'm actually really excited to see how it starts panning out.
All right, so let me just get this set up.
I was gonna say, did you want me to have my cam on in the end, or just leave it as is?
I think it's fine as is. No one else had it, so well,
Easy.
makes no sense to start now. If I could just not break all the overlays, that would be great.
Nah, shatter it, dude. Hell yeah, break it.
There we go. That looks pretty good. All right, so
Hey, stand drop.
so we've got on the left is BB Exceed with
Discard.
Bav, and then on the right we've got Shubao
Overview.
with Heartluru.
So, I was
So
gonna say, if you
Heartluru
have
going
a chance to
first, I
test
think is
this
really good for them. By the way,
Yeah, no, I think it definitely is, because I think the one interesting thing here
Mhm.
is like because of just the way that Buff Sakura plays and the way Hotlaru works with its orders, it's going to be an interesting game of seeing whether Buff Sakura can like neg Hotlaru enough, because Hotlaru can always recur 2 cards from drop zone, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So it's a case of like you're trying to like slowly
3,
grind
1,
them out.
Mhm.
And the thing is, with the Grade 1 Dragon, you can find that Hotlaru is like kind of forcing you to mace very often, which lowers your front row numbers.
Yeah.
So I think with one Fire Lord, it's probably going to
top
start
5.
coming up pretty soon.
yeah, and also doesn't help if they need to, Heartluru can just recur
Maybe
the
lost
shark
hand.
to just
Couple.
smash all of your restanders, which means that you're always like, Heartluru makes a board for free as part of its game plan. Bav doesn't, so Bav's the one who's going to be constantly committing cards to the board.
Yeah, and I think
1, 2,
going first in this matchup is super important because, like you said, with the shark, you can keep recurring it.
Okay.
And the most
pass.
concerning part for me here, I think, if you're the Buff Sakura player, is like, is there ever a world where if you went first with Buff Sakura, you would try to like 0 damage the Heartluru for a couple turns to deny them the turn 3 order, to basically tell them you need to just draw it. And if you don't have it, you set them behind.
Yeah, that is a really good point.
Like just like hard 0 damage tonight, but like the issue is because then the Heartluru is like a turn behind, right?
Yep.
So like their Persona Ride on 3 orders means they can't put 2 back. So you can actually like neg them to the first turn and just hope they don't have it. But going second, I think it's a bit rougher. I think it's actually a lot rougher.
I don't think that's a bad idea. The issue is that the only real source of like pressure or closing that Bav has is from the inherent crit on the Vanguard column. Because like, as you said, like if they're gonna mace every turn, that means that your column's only gonna be like
3, 1, 2.
43 and not 61, which means that if you're 0 damaging them, like they'll have like 2 or 3 damage on their Persona Ride 2 order turn 4, but then you need to find your Persona Rides to actually fight back with.
Oh yes, okay. So I think this is like one of those rough plays where I think the decision to swing here means that like he can't punish BB Exceed for going first.
Yeah, but I
'Cause,
mean,
like, obviously the deck wants to, but
yeah,
you could slow them down.
Yeah, plus BB Exceed damaging the toys as well. That guarantees the 4th one basically, because he can always just grab it from damage.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the thing to remember as well, but also the damage is the Heartluru, not the toys in this case.
Oh, it's a Heartluru, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks so
right.
similar. Never mind. Okay, I was gonna say if
It's
he had
the-
damaged the
it's
toys,
the
that would have been
same
crazy.
guy.
It's the corporate
it's
wants
the
you to
same-
find the difference. I mean, damaging a
It's
Persona
the-
Ride is also pretty good for Shubao here because again, like it means that if the game does go long, which is something that Bav is very good at doing and kind of wants to do, there's that like the pressure eases up a little bit on turn 7.
Yeah, and I think the difficult thing as well is like in this matchup, I think that because the way the Heartluru works is it realistically has 3 restanders. It has 3 things that want to be restood rather.
Yeah.
So you have the shark that's currently on the Vanguard that swings into a rear guard, that then restands and swings into a Vanguard.
Yeah.
And you have the one on the left that's like wavy loss,
1, 2, 3.
gains a crit, and the one on the right gets Battle Door.
Yeah.
I think against Buff Sakura, like the Battle Door is like not real, right?
Yeah, because they always
Because,
just shield.
Plate order from hand.
Yeah, so like if they're on that, they're not on the shark because the placement matters, right?
Yes.
So you just intercept 20k shield and like you're done.
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing is the one thing Buff Sakura can do here is because he can keep forcing out the front row and demacing for the back row dragon, or the block horse, the block dragon, the tank intercept.
Block horse.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is you can effectively tell them that that card doesn't exist because if they use it, so you know every turn they're getting the shark back, right?
Yeah.
Which only really leaves them with 1 free slot. That's why the damage and I would have punished them super hard, right? So like what you would have done is you would have just called a front row and basically invited their shark to swing into it to like call it out, bait it out, and then if you do, just pop it. And then like you always neg 2 to their board, so you prevent them from calling and pop their front row, and like make sure they can't get it back.
Yeah, I get it, but I think the issue with that line then is that you're then kind of forced into like playing it slow and grindy, whereas doing it this way, obviously like you can't go full slow grind, but you can still grind out a little bit. Like, you know, Bav has the choice on whether or not it does this triple drive. Heartluru doesn't. Like, Heartluru is always going to do triple drives, which means at some point, Bav can control itself to not deck out. And, like, this line, it leaves that option available to Shubao while still giving him that sort of, you know, like, not early game aggression or rush, but, like, it shores up that loss from going second a bit more, I think. In a way that doesn't just force him into one line.
And I think one of the other things you could do, like genuinely, with Bav is if they leave a Ray Guard, you just don't pop them. There's a world you keep swinging into the Ray Guards because not only can you control your triple drive, but more than that, Heartluru will need to filter.
Right.
So Heartluru will normally always be deeper into its deck than you are. And hard zero damaging it means they have 2-0 swings, no restand effect.
Yeah.
And like your crit doesn't matter, right? So like you can give them all this, like your line is basically you either hard damage it and try and push, or you never soul blast in your life and you just keep swinging Ray God plus turn. Because like they will be deeper in than you and they won't be able to output pressure.
Like ever. Swing 10 Vanguard.
Because like there he goes 10, right? Next round on Persona Ride it'll be 20, right? But like if you don't have CB you don't restand, so it's 20 and like that's it. So you just shield.
Card 5.
So like you triple drive and don't need to discard shield.
I think the problem is like, yeah, it's just that giving them the first counterblast already means that you can't really.
Once you won the first one, the strategy's over. Yeah,
16 Vanguard.
Like the only way he gets punished now is if he like heals out the first damage.
Go ahead.
Central. Charge 3.
But the trouble is, yeah, like I think if you aren't going to go for that strategy and you're going to try and like push damage, I think that the going first player is super favored because obviously you get your Persona Ride first. And like Bav kind of needs either to have a really good hand or have a couple good grade 3 turns to like really have like, the hand to survive everything. Especially because in this matchup you can't be committing your pieces because you're going to have to guard them. So you know in some decks like they'll just ignore your Ray Guards, right? But here you know that the Shark will always come out and the Shark will always swing at your Ray Guards.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to like
if you are going to go that line then that means you pretty much never commit a restander and you just spend all of your energy on the grade 2 that comes out of drop zone when you arm.
Or you commit one a turn, effectively.
Or that, yeah.
Poke class.
1, 2, 3.
Because the one thing you can do is you can effectively have one turn where you go, you know, mace pop back row, pop front row, ace unit pop a back row. And like just go all in that turn.
Yeah. But again, the only downside there is that because Heartluru is always going to be deeper into its deck and always digging, Heartluru is going to find all its pieces before Bav. And if that happens, you risk ending up in a position where they can just like, you know, overwhelm you with like just sheer advantage while you're still scrambling to like, you know, keep your head above the water.
The one upside against Heartluru, and it's like the one thing that I can struggle with, is because you can find all your pieces, but because they're so location dependent, so like if Bav finds 2 restanders, it has 5 attacks, right?
Yeah.
But if Heartluru finds 3 of its right, like left column restanders, that's only 1 effect, right? So like you can't.
Second Persona Ride going to damage, that is going to be huge.
That's rough. That's really rough. Because it is actually interesting to see, because Heartluru is one of the few decks we've seen recently that is kind of built out of one set and is built well.
Yeah, but it's 5 visual?
Yeah, so actually interesting choice here. So we've seen the Avarice come out. So we've seen a lot of debate going between Philly and Avarice. How are you feeling about this debate? Because obviously one guarantees your searches, the other one is a lot more early game pressure.
I mean, I'm in the camp of 4 Philia, 1 Avarice. And that's just because, like, you know, I play Brantgate. I play so many decks where I just have all 4 of my set order to begin with. So, like, I've never felt the need to search it. And, like, I was speaking to Gurgit, Remain, about this. And his, like, the one line that really convinced me is that Resta stops you from Resta stops you losing games, but Philia actively wins you games, and that's, like, the big thing for me.
So the thing is, the one interesting line, the only argument I've seen for no Avarice is the fact that... So yeah, there you go, see the file coming out, the third one. So the thing is, your Avarice can be the spot of your Drew Cat, which is your only counter charge. It can be really important. Because if you ever want to draw off your grade 2 wavy loss, like you need the CB, like you can't generate it forever.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have a trick mood, you don't have, you know, things like that. But The one interesting thing with Filia is Filia can actually allow for certain tells, because what oftentimes will happen is on the early turns, they sometimes don't resolve Filia, just because the numbers are so aggressive. But it means if they do resolve Filia, sometimes it's a tell that they have the ace unit in hand, because they're able to reposition the Filia for next turn.
Yeah. I mean, like, you say it's a tell, but to me, it's just... That's still just a strong line, right? Like, getting 2 cards for the price of 1 is crazy.
No, for sure, absolutely. It's more that it sometimes sets up that, like, it sometimes can give you a hint that, like, oh, depending on their hand, like, it could just be, like, another dead card in hand. Because early on, before they've thinned, they kind of just, like, have the luck of the draw, right?
Yeah.
You have what you drew.
But I mean, in Heartlure, like, I think you're fine with that, because you're either drawing a combo piece or you're drawing a trigger to guard with, both of which are good options.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, there you go. So, okay.
Energy Black 3 for Lulu. I'll call 3 toys.
Oh, sure, okay. It's just building a board here.
Yeah. So yeah, he's... I don't think it's correct for Shubao to be super aggressive here, like... Because you've lost 2 Persona rides, so that would imply that you don't, like, you're not going to win the long game. But at the same time, like, your opponent's also committed, like, you know, Cindy, Trick Moon, Restander on turn 2, like... These are cards that in Bav, it's not like in Luwad or Undercover, like any other late game focused deck where you have early game pieces that still do stuff. Those 3 cards on the board right now are vanilla, and your opponent's just committed them just to get that early damage on the board, which you've denied.
1, 2, 3.
So they've basically, like, obviously they can all recur the pieces and they'll do stuff next turn, but for now, your opponent's lost a lot of hand.
For Blavey loss, draw 1.
So that would lead you towards
a really greedy commit.
Yeah.
But actually, it's weirdly enough, so I think that, so the fact that the Yukma shot comes out now actually probably tells you as a Heartlure player that their hand is probably pretty fake. Because normally you wouldn't be dropping it this early, you'd wait for it to, like, do something next turn, right?
Yeah, so he either really needed the filter, or he's already stacked, is the 2 options. There's, like, no in between. But then, like...
But I think if you're stacked, you don't drop Cindy and Trick Moon here, right?
I probably drop the Trick Moon, but maybe not the Cindy.
This will
because the interesting thing, it feels like if you put a Cindy there, like, unless you have another one in hand or drop, like, you're not expecting to survive, right?
Yeah.
And since you don't want to overcall the Trick Moon because, well, it's your only card, it implies that, like, maybe he doesn't have much? Because otherwise you just probably hold it.
Yeah, it's only 23, yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like even if your hand is stacked, you don't want to be like, you've shot this early. Oh, or you know what, never mind.
Yeah, it's a bit of an early roll, but I do like it being able to, like, just guarantee that restander. Plus, the intercept roar now means that Shark can't swing into the restander, it has to swing into the Cindy.
I'm just going to go CV1 restand. Yeah, then the column restands.
Yeah. Which I think is still fine. Like, you know, again, your opponent's on grade 2, not grade 3. Even though this would be the chance for you to, like, really pull ahead in terms of damage and tempo, you, like, I don't think you need to be that impatient with it.
This is... I'm inclined to agree there. I'm just checking if am I crazy? Does the grade 2 doesn't care about you being grade 3 for a crit, right?
It doesn't.
Your Vanguard needs to be grade 3.
Of course. Second.
Yeah, 10k intercept and another filter.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Oh, defensive trigger's really nice, though.
Oi. Yeah, basically shuts down the Shark here. I think you probably just swing Shark just to get it.
Yeah, just for the value.
Yeah. I mean, you already committed to it, right? You already denied yourself.
33-2 crit Vanguard.
Card 35.
There you go for the 33-2 crit.
Yeah.
Bunny retired.
There you go, 50 on top of the defensive. Easy.
Stand. Well, charge.
So yeah, that was really good for BBXC there. Just gets to go into this turn 3 with all the pretty much all the cards he needs in hand. Just so now it's the question of the block horse is in hand, not on the board, so he doesn't actually even need to mace. He can just, like, double sword go for it here.
Ride skill counterblast 1. Search.
I think probably the only argument for mace is that, like, since he added with the bear and not an avarice last turn,
grabbing sword.
It would probably imply to us he doesn't really have access to the 4th one just yet, because surely you'd go for the one that's unsafe compared to the one that's safe, right? Just, like, deck in one more. Which means he's currently only putting 1 back.
No, the fact that he discarded the rest tells me that he already has the 4th order. At least that's what it implies to me.
Because I would think you'd probably just play the order, right? Like, from hand. Unless you're trying to keep the discard to have another bear, but Unless if you have another bear in hand, but
which is also possible. He doesn't need the other bear in hand. He can just call over the bear and then just recycle it with the other two already in the order zone.
But if he's recycling the bear, he's not recycling any of the front rows that are getting popped, unless his hand is just full of pieces.
Which is the other option, yeah.
But I feel like on those kinds of lines, it tells you that his hand is kind of like turbo ass, so you can just rush him super hard because he just won't be able to answer it.
Which I think he should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Call Trickman. Since Trickman was called Cindy.
Oh, bro just has everything. Never mind.
Trickman called your counter charge.
My bad. My apologies. I was unfamiliar with your game.
I mean, he also has I don't know the name of it, but the EB3 reanimate dragon in his drop zone as well, which he chose not to call out.
Skill.
The fact that he did EB3 for it tells me that he's about to go for double restander this turn.
Discard Mace.
Because there's the one that we saw being bounced with the defensing roar, and I think we're about to see a second one.
I think, if you see that or a Cindy proc right now, that's like your telltale.
Yeah, all we're missing is the Vilord.
Let's Cindy to
There we go. The one thing I'm concerned about that I kind of hope people know not to do for BCS is if anybody drops an ace unit, it's been surprising to me how many people don't know that you have to it burns the first time it plays.
Yeah.
Because it gains 5k and then does the extra effect.
Yeah.
So I really hope nobody makes that mistake, because I think it's a really easy one to make.
Vanguard skill. Put all power to soul.
Oi.
Equip sword.
There we go. And so it begins.
5k to front row.
But I was gonna say, how do you feel that buff Sakura kind of matches up into things after the hits? Because I feel like the deck feels a lot more quote unquote fair, but it still is like a top dog.
It's still really strong. It's just more of a case of I actually don't like the hits, because now it's kind of like the Maxi argument, right? Because Bav,
if you see Vilord, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, Bav is still fundamentally unfair. There's the ace unit, which is crazy. But yeah, it's just a question of do they have it? If they have it, I lose. If they don't have it, I could win. Whereas before, it was just they're gonna have it, I'm gonna lose.
Counterblast 1, Eclipse Sword from hand.
There's the double sword.
Oh, the hard play from hand, damn.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him add it back with a Cindy, so the moment he does that, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. No,
the question is, does he have the grade 1 to get a third equip?
Oh my god, bro, relax.
He does not. Okay, it's just Cindy.
Bro, what do you mean just Cindy?
Because he already has a Cindy in rotation.
Front.
Ooh, defensive is nice.
So it's 25, 35, 48 to crit. 3 drives.
Yeah, small numbers,
PG, I'll discard
a small loan of a million attack points.
4 cards in hand now?
Yes.
Yeah, and just like that, he's just shredded the hand.
It's just that easy.
The heal is live as well.
Easy.
Absolutely crazy.
Power to ace.
It's just that easy, baby.
Crits.
Oh
and
my goodness.
Yeah, why not?
All effects to Yugmashon. Third check. Front.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
never mind.
All right,
yeah, alright.
Vilord is at 1, by the way, guys. Me when I don't see Vilord and still see Vilord.
Does Shubao just die here?
33, 43.
Maybe. I think if you can guard, you'll guard the 2 crit ones. If you try and guard one of them and take the other. But
no, I think
1 damage. The other one's 2 damage. Yes.
Okay. So what's his hand size?
They're both huge. 4.
Sorry for not making that clear.
I think if you guard any of them, you have to guard this one. And you just have to just pray that you go to 5 and win the game next turn.
35, 45.
Which is going to be hard to do because you've damaged 2 Persona Ride, so there's only 1 Persona Ride left in your deck.
And also they healed.
That too.
Because the worst part is the 2 crit swing is behind a Trick Moon. So
it's going to be huge. Which is why you so
1 damage. Discard.
Oh, that's rough.
70
Chose the PG.
No guard.
Oh,
No,
doesn't have it.
PG.
Doesn't get a defensive heal. There are the PGs. There they are.
I mean,
yeah, that was fast, but yeah, I mean, like you say, Heart Lure is meant to be that deck, which is not built to counter Bav, but I think it's the one that gives people the most hope that Bav is beatable. But
So that being first favored, right?
Well, it's not even that. It's just 3 triggers will do that to you. I think it doesn't help either that the when Shubao rode to grade 3 on that Heart Luru turn, you know, he made the board, he did the thing, but there just wasn't enough tempo swing. And I think the turn 2 commit from BBXE, I think, did a lot more than it lets on. Like, having those bodies to, like, intercept with, forcing your opponent to be like, oh, should I actually swing at some of these rear guards? And, like, you could call it high rolling, but then being able to defensing roll your restander is, like, to me, that's, like, huge. You know, there's an argument that maybe Shubao should have led with a shark first into the restander just to guarantee get it off the table. But then you're losing so much more aggressive pressure on the rest of the attacks, which, you know, like, I've already said that I don't think Heart Luru needs to be the aggressor in that matchup. Like, you don't need to rush into victory. Sure, you're on the clock of, like, decking out, but you know, you've got just as good of a grind game because of that recursion, like you mentioned. I think maybe, like, having that board kind of, I don't want to say threw Shubao for a loop, but I think maybe it was like, you know, made him, like, stop and reconsider, like, oh, should I actually be doing this or should I be doing that?
Yeah, because, like, the one thing that kind of confused me a bit is, like we said on turn 3, you know, when you dropped the bear to add from drop,
yeah,
but showed us the avarice.
Yeah.
But I would have thought that if anything, you'd play the order from hand, keep the bear.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're discarding another 5k shield, right?
Exactly. Like, if you already have it, you already have it,
right?
And if you don't already have it, then why don't you keep the rest there?
Yeah, because, like, if you're playing it from hand, you just play it because you keep a 5k shield in hand.
Yeah,
and if you don't have it, then you just play the resta and don't go. Like, the drop zone one is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that was, like, a weird play for me, but maybe there was some extra stuff in there how we didn't quite see. Because that was, like, the one weird one where I'm going, like, you know, against a deck like Bav, where, you know, every 5k matters, especially now that Fire Lord is gone. I feel like being wasteful with your shield, especially in a deck with Heart Luru, where a lot of your upside is, you know, having access to that shield. So, like, the bear being there means that, you know, the 10k intercept dragon isn't.
Exactly.
Right? So
it also means that, like,
15k shield you just throw away, right?
Yeah, and if your opponent doesn't Soul Blast 2, just, like, swings at your rear guards, you then still have more in hand to, like, replenish them without having to commit extra resources. Yeah, no, I totally, I kind of am with you there. But, you know, that's how it is, and, you know, like Charlie was saying just earlier, BBX Seed, you know, he's been around for a while. He is known of being able to just, you know, pull the luck out of thin air when he needs it, and that was just another example of that.
You just manifest it. Just play like you're the main character. It works every time.
Exactly. So, yeah, we are 3 games down with the finals, and currently PGK leads 2-1. But, you know, I'm never gonna stop saying this. As BSF Manchester has taught me, never say never. And like Charlie said, WCCL's roster is very stacked. Like Kenzio's an insane player, Adrian's a really good player, you know, Zera's pretty good as well. Like, she's against Nuno, who's also, like, one of the scariest players to play against, but like, it's they shouldn't be counting their eggs just yet. But yeah, we still got a few more games to see. I do have 1 or 2 more recordings in the bank. I actually don't know the results of those yet, so it's a mystery to me as well. We'll find out together, but yeah, that'll be sometime in the next few days. Again, anyone in chat, please remind me. I have a day off tomorrow, so I'm going to be at home all day, so please remind me to get last week's stream VOD onto YouTube. If you tell me, hey Ben, don't forget to do this, I will do it immediately, so that's at least something.
Yeah. How cancelable was the Manchester stream in the end?
Good question. I haven't checked yet. I'll find out tomorrow.
Easy.
Alright,
but Zera needs to be careful. Zera needs to be aware that you can never underestimate a man who topped, like, Doji format with Dayusha several times.
Yeah.
That is a threatening man.
I mean, he got 3rd at Worlds during Deleter format with Overlord, so...
That's my goat. That's just my goat.
Yeah.
Like, that man is connected to every Portuguese seller. Like, if you ever add a Portuguese card into your card market, you'll get a DM from him being like, yo, so I see you're buying this card. I'm like, bro, how many accounts? Who are you?
Yeah, the other game I want to highlight as well is Kenzio versus the Swag Messiah. Like, Kenzio's almost a household name in the Vanguard community at this point in terms of, like, quote-unquote star players. So, yeah, definitely his game's going to be one to watch. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you once again for joining us on commentary. Feel free to spend a few seconds just, you know, shouting out yourself, telling people, like, you know, who you are, where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. For those of you who don't know, I'm Echo. I streamed BCS for a bit, although unfortunately not doing that again this season. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube. I'm like 2 subs away from hitting partner. Easy money.
Yo.
Two more things. But yeah, no, I'm gonna start doing deck profiles again once my PC is back alive, and follow for all the Jiva decks because I am coping on the support, man.
Oh boy.
I have 0 wins. This deck is death.
All right. That's going to be it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And I will see you all very, very soon. Have a lovely evening. Take care and good night.
Bye, guys.